and welcome to UAT Time within the United Countries special by First Ukraine. You can find us on the frequencies available on our website, firstua.com. I'm Sergey Velichanskiy.
And I am Olivier Vedrine. UAT Time is dedicated to bring Ukraine and Europe closer to each other by introducing the world Ukraine to the rest of the world.
The Day of Europe has been celebrated in Ukraine for 13 years, but seems like only in the past few years this date has taken a new meaning upon itself.
So today we want to share with you about some facts regarding it.
Our channel, First Ukraine, was actually even broadcasting some broadcasting live from Mikhailovsky Square, downtown Kiev, with regard, and covering all the major events that took place, celebrating and all the people that were there. There were a lot of workshops, dancing competitions, singers, and a lot of different country corners from different cultures and languages and different representatives, even from some embassies. Now, I know that during the celebration, you took a trip to Zaporizhia.
Yes, I was in Zaporizhia.
Okay, as far as I understand, something interesting happened because there's the tallest flagpole in Ukraine or in the whole Europe?
In Ukraine.
Okay, so it's
very
tall.
Ukraine,
so the tallest in Ukraine, and they raised Ukrainian and European Union flags, right? And you were a guest.
Yep.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the pictures from that event. And let's see, yes, now we're talking about two flags, Ukraine and European Union, and the tallest flagpole.
And the students.
And of course, it's Ukraine, it's the anthem of Ukraine. And so a lot of people participated and a lot of government officials.
Yeah, and a lot of media also, television, national TV. And that was an amazing event. I was very surprised because I was not expecting that. I was not waiting for that.
Well, go ahead, tell us.
And I came in Zaporizhia, and I was invited. I was very shocked because we changed about that on Facebook. I was invited in tourist hotel.
Yes.
And for me, I say, wow, I am coming for the Day of Europe, and I am in tourist hotel. So, I mean, for me, that was like the Soviet Union.
Back into the Soviet Union, yes. We still have some places like that, yeah.
And that was my first image. But after that...
Was there hot water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, everything was okay. Everything was okay. And the breakfast was nice. Everything was okay.
Okay.
And... Zaporizhia is a very, can I say, Soviet town, the big avenue, big square. And
well, Soviet architecture is definitely, you can't go
my first
away from
impression was, I was a little bit surprised. And then I went to this event on this famous island of Khortytsa?
Yes.
And
it's a forepost, pretty much, of Kazakhs' defense.
Yeah.
It's a
it's a big symbol for Ukraine.
Freedom, yes. Freedom fighters.
Yeah. And then I saw this little mountain, the flag of Ukraine, the flag of EU, and a lot of person. And I was very happy because a lot of young person, a lot of students, and those students, we can see the photo. Those students, they have some flag, the flag of the
different European Union countries. Right?
Yeah, 28, and that was amazing. I was not expecting for that, and. You have the mayor of Zaporizhia was there, The governor of the Oblast of Zaporozhye was there. The Alliance Française was there.
Just take a look how beautiful this the two flags are looking at the tallest flagpole.
The symbol is
Yeah.
the image is beautiful, but the symbol is very, very, you know, a lot of emotion.
Well,
lot of emotion.
Europe Day is an observance in Ukraine, usually on the third weekend in May, that celebrates and honors its unity with other European countries. And it was established by the Ukrainian president in 2003. And so for 13 years, it's been celebrated. I remember, you know, a lot of, festivities and parties, and but it seems like only within these past several years that it has a different meaning. Because where it was before, yes, we were kind of going towards Europe, and all the declarations were right, negotiations with Europe and all that, but only after the Maidan. And Maidan, as we remember, started because of the rejection of the former president of Ukraine's direction to Europe.
To Europe, yeah.
And so that's why it's called Euromaidan. And so right now, it seems like it has a different meaning right now.
For me, this is really a symbol of independence for Ukraine, freedom for Ukraine, and also fighting for Ukraine.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes the separatists, those that came to the meetings with the Russian flags, they say, we don't do anything different than what you guys did, because you came to the meetings with European Union flags.
It is very different.
It is, and that's the thing. What happened was those people, by bringing the flags of a specific independent country within the limits of another independent country, carries a totally different understanding, rather than bringing flags of a union of countries.
This is the difference.
Of a
This
union
is
of
the huge
independent
difference.
union of independent countries who respect the borders of each other, respect the trade, the culture, and just respect each other. And so this is, if you ever wanted to know what is happening in east of Ukraine, this is exactly what is happening. Because those people, they brought the Russian Federation flags to the meetings, and they killed people because they spoke Ukrainian, they had Ukrainian flags, and this is this is a terrorism.
And they came with the Russian flag, or they are coming, or they come with the Russian flag in the eastern part of Ukraine. We are with the EU flag, and the EU flag, yes, this is a flag who represents 28 states, and nobody will come with the French flag or the flag of Poland. That will be, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And that's the huge difference. And we are coming with the flag of the EU because we, as an European activist, we think that Ukraine deserves a star on the flag of EU.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, again, we've been under Russia for 25 years. And we are where we are. The country with 30+% of the best soil in the world.
Yeah.
And we can't feed our retired people, we can't feed our families, we don't have a good we have a bad salary rate. you know, in Europe. And so, to me, it's like this. We've been there. We've been under Russia's, you know, union and Commonwealth of Independent States. So now it's about time to drastically change our mind and go to Europe, because that's where people respect privacy, respect property, respect the law. And that's exactly what I believe we need to go and work hard to make the star, be the star amongst the 28 other countries.
For me, Ukraine is in Europe, you know, you don't have to go, you are.
Yeah, well,
you are, but I know the process.
Yes, but
the process. But you know, this young generation and a lot of Ukrainians really they want to share the EU values, and that's the first step. And you know, I want to give, I want to talk about my friend Alexander. My friend Alexander invited me in this event. My friend Alexander is a man who born in Ukraine, did his study in Russia, and come back in Ukraine 12 years ago. And he has a Russian passport, but he feels Ukrainian. And he is fighting for Ukraine. That's amazing. That means the EU values is like a wave. This EU values is now in Ukraine, and tomorrow I hope will go in Russia. And for me, what is important when we rise this flag of EU and this flag of Ukraine, for me this is a symbol of peace. This is a message to the East, to the terrorists. Say, okay, come on, we want to live in peace. And the European Union, the European Union, the beginning of the European Union, why we wanted after the Second World War to build the European Union, because of peace. Because we wanted peace. Yeah. We wanted prosperity. And Robert Schuman, Jean Monnet, Winston Churchill, they wanted to live in a peaceful continent only. And now we have to face a war in Ukraine, a war in the center of Europe. This flag is really a symbol of peace.
Well, we have what we have right now. There is a war, and it seems like there is no solution to it. Again, within past several days, there was another increase of shelling.
Yeah, I saw that.
And unfortunately, more casualties and more soldiers killed.
And that's you know that now we are they will talk about Minsk agreement now, and they are talking about Minsk agreement. The Russian asked to Ukraine to respect the Minsk agreement, to organize those elections in the Donbass. I think now we will have in the future we will have some weeks and some months will be very difficult for Ukraine.
Well, there's got to be some difficult decisions made, you know. Again, recently the World Championship, Hockey World Championship took place in Russia, you know, and it's like, how can you continue doing things like this, knowing that Russia is violating the borders of another country and killing its people? So there's got to be some unification in a lot of European countries' actions and institutions, European institutions. We're talking about like future World Championship in 2018, potentially happening in Russia again. Football. It's like, come on. There's got to be.
I am totally agree with you. I am totally agree. We have to come back in the European values. That means we respect democracy, human rights. You don't respect, then we cannot work together. That's very, this is basic. This flag represents democracy, human rights, solidarity, equality, fraternity like in France, but we represent those values. And really, for this flag, we have to say no, we will not deal with Russia. And for me, when I was there, I was thinking about that. Yes, we are right, we are in the right camp, and we are facing another system who want to kill this symbol.
Yeah. Before we go on, you can find us on the Facebook, facebook.com/firstUA channel and facebook.com/UAT time. Find us and let us know what you think about the subject. Why? I'm sure, I know there are other issues, there are other problems in Europe. I know there are a lot of, the migrants and the local oppositions in different countries. But I can't understand how come that Europe doesn't see the precedent that is taking place for the past 2.5 years with the war in the Donbass in the east of Ukraine. And there are so many proofs of Russian soldiers. And there's...
I understand. I have two answers. First, I am agree with you, but first, my first answer will be, in Europe, they are afraid about Putin and about Russia. They think that the Russian army is still the Soviet army, and they are very afraid about, like a myth, first. Secondly, and as a politologist, I want to underline this fact. My colleagues, politologue, my friend in France and in Europe, experts or politicians, large part of them do not understand the Russian mentality.
Yeah.
Really. They say, yes, we know Pushkin, we know the Russian history. Yes, but you have to come here.
Yeah.
Go to Russia, go to Ukraine, see. And really, they don't understand. They believe that they can talk with Putin because we can talk this more. No. In Russian mentality, this is very different. We talked about that before. In the Russian strategy, you have a loser, you have a winner. And Putin wants Europe to lose and to lose everything. Yeah. Okay? And we have to be very strong with Putin. No compromise, very strong. We are fighting for our continent, we are fighting for our values. And the front line is in Ukraine. That's why I support 100% the Ukrainians who are fighting for their freedom, because they are fighting for Ukraine at first, but for Europe and for me, for my family in France also.
Yeah. Why? What kind of actions should be done or taken? What steps should be taken? Because it seems like these kind of sanctions that are right now, they're not effective. Or it will take forever for them to be effective. Should there be an increase of sanctions? But at the same time, I hear that some movements in the Parliament of France want to cancel the sanctions.
Yes, but that was very few okay. Parliamentary.
Because it was like 50 from 500?
Yeah, 50, 55 they were for to stop the sanction. And it's very few. They were only a small group. This group, the leader of this group is the same person who went to Crimea.
Yeah.
Then
okay. That's
nothing.
Understandable. Okay.
They have business with Russia, and they belong to some Russian NGO propaganda okay. NGO. And
okay.
I prefer to don't talk about them.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so there is nothing to worry about.
Yeah, but anyway, we have to understand in Ukraine that our friend in EU really do not understand the Russian mentality. And we have to explain from Ukraine what is going on. And we have to do more communication to explain to the EU, come on, we have to face a big problem in France, yes, but also in Europe with Putin. And in my opinion, I am afraid that Putin will do some mistake in the future, not only in Ukraine, but also maybe in the Baltic state. And we talked about that before with Ilya Ponomarev. And because he knows that EU is weak, because EU doesn't understand the Russian strategy.
Yeah. So, back to the Day of Europe in Ukraine. At this point, as far as I understand, it's not an official public holiday, though it is welcomed pretty much. All the possibilities to celebrate are given, and all the cultural centers perform and involve people with a lot
but you know that in France and in other states of the European Union, the Day of Europe is the 9th of May.
Yeah, well,
it's the 9th of May.
We want to be unique, so we've got the third weekend of May.
Yeah.
So I guess it's because it's a Ukrainian tradition. We want to celebrate with them and then celebrate ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, why not? You know, sometimes it seems like we have so many holidays that
what is important is to celebrate.
let's not, yeah. And then another thing I would say, as far as let's announce all the 31 day of Euro 2016 as holidays. Let's not work.
That can be cool, yeah.
Yeah, let's not work.
Be cool.
But it's going to be a big event in France. That's going to be another European event. European flags and European. Let's hope that nothing. All the security measures will be taken, and I'm sure there's a lot of work going on there.
Yeah, yeah, but really. I want to come back to this symbol. You know, when I did my speech during this event, I was thinking, and I spoke about that. I was thinking about Philippe Orlik. Philippe Orlik, this very famous Cossack who wrote the first European Constitution. I was thinking about the Republic of the Cossack. The Cossack democracy. And you know that Ukraine, because of the Cossack, was one of the first democracies in Europe. And the symbol to put this flag on this island of Hornitsa, very famous in the heart of Ukraine, in the heart of the Cossack. I think I said that I was thinking about Philippe Orlik, and during my speech, I spoke about Philippe Orlik, about Jean Monnet, about Robert Schuman, because for me that they were the same type of person.
Yeah.
They wanted freedom.
Well, let's live with that. And this was the European Day in Ukraine, and let's hope that all the, the Verkhovna Rada and the government and all the adopting of new legislations will bring us closer and closer to the European lifestyle and standards of life.
But stay different, because you know that the European Union is united in diversity.
Yes, and that's, I'm sure we will be.
You will be different, definitely. You are.
All right, thank you very much. And it was United Country, UAT time by First Ukraine.
Olivier Vedrine and Sergey Velichanskiy were working for you in the studio. Stay with us and we will show to you the real Ukraine.
Thank you for being with us. Have a good day and see you soon.